This is the KTT Sea Salt Linear switch. This is a budget switch from KTT, and some say that they are really smooth even on stock. So how do they sound and feel? Let's find out. But first, a quick message from our channel sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for all your custom PCB needs and even prototyping. They do offer a lot of material options for your PCB, just like a standard PCB, advanced PCBs, and even flexible PCBs, all at affordable pricing. So get your instant quote now and prototype the easy way with PCBWay. Links in the description. What is going on, guys? Ox here and welcome back to my channel. We are back with another switch review and sound test, and this time let's all take a look and listen at the KTT Sea Salt switches. So this is a linear switch and is a budget switch from KTT. So this is like my second time trying them out. I've already did a review on their halo switches, and a lot of you guys said to try them out, so here we are. And some of you were also saying that these are like a hidden gem waiting to be discovered, so let's see how good they are in today's video. So in today's video, it's going to be our usual review, a stock versus lube comparison, and also a sound comparison versus some Akko switches, and of course, we'll be breaking down the materials that was used on the switch. If you want to hear my own thoughts and opinion about the switch, please do stick around at the end of the sound test. And speaking of sound test, let me give you guys a quick disclaimer. The sound and experience may vary depending on your keyboard build, so meaning to say you might have a different sound and experience depending on your keyboard build. I'm using the Vega 65 with a polycarbonate plates, a PCB to plate foam, and one case foam. The switches was lubed with a Krydox 205 grade 0 and 105 grade 0 on the springs. The keycaps that we'll be using on the sound test would be the Geek Arc PBT. So with all of that out of the way, please do enjoy the sound test on the KTT Sea Salt switches. So that was the sound test for the KTT Sea Salt switches. Let me know what you think about them on the comment section down below. Share your own thoughts and opinion about the switch. And before we talk about my own thoughts and opinion about them, you already know the drill. Let's break down the materials that was used on the switch. As you can see, these are a 3-pin switch and is using a Kale style housing. So for the top housing, we have polycarbonate. We have nylon for the bottom housing. And of course, we have POM for the stem. Now for the springs, it has a 45 gram actuation force, 53 gram bottom out force, and has a 13mm progressive springs. So that was the material breakdown for the KTT Sea Salt switches, and if you made it up to this point, I would love to say thank you so much for staying. And finally, before we talk about my own thoughts and opinion on the switches, I want to give you guys my disclaimer that the sound and experience may vary depending on your keyboard build, meaning to say that we might have different experience depending on your keyboard builds. Again, we are using the Vega 65 with a polycarbonate plates, a PCB to plate foam, and one case foam. The switches was lubed with a Krydox 205 grade 0 and 105 grade 0 on the springs. Now for the keycaps, we use the Geek Arc PBT set. Now finally, let's all talk about my thoughts on the feel. As mentioned, I am fairly new at trying out KTT switches and I've only tried the Halo, but these are really smooth on stock. Like, I was actually surprised. I didn't feel any spring or leaf crunch and just smoothness out of the box. But of course, you already know me, I always lube my switches, and since it was already exceptionally smooth, I only lube it with some light applications. It did feel more smoother, but not really in a night and day experience. But for the typing feel, I'm really liking the 13mm progressive springs along with the 53 gram bottom out force. Although I find it light at first due to the 43 gram actuation force, but somehow I got used to it, and maybe because of the progressive springs, but it really feels solid to type on. Now let's move on to my thoughts on the sound. On stock, I didn't notice any spring or lift ping, which is really nice considering that this is a budget switch. It sounds decent on stock, but of course I lubed them, and you might say that you didn't hear any difference between the stock versus lube, which is kind of true, but in real life I can hear some slight changes on the pitch. This is a bit more on the clacky sound profile on my build, and I must say, I'm really liking how it sounds. It's just the right pitch for my linear switch preference. So overall, I do recommend picking them up when you are looking for a good budget switch. It feels and sounds exceptionally smooth on stock, and if you have the extra budget, you can still try to lube them and see if it would be better for your liking. But honestly, it's one of those switches that can pass on stock for me, that is. But I'm very satisfied on how these turned out, and I really agree to some of you guys that said that KTT switches are kind of like a gem right now in the hobby. I'm very much excited to see and try all of their other switches and future releases from now on. So that is it for the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed my review video on the KTT Sea Salt. Again, if you can, please don't forget to hit the like button, as it really helps out my channel a lot. And let's all try the usual 50 likes for the video, and I know we can do it. So what's next? Well, we shall continue with the TechWare switches, and I also have the Kinetic Lab switches coming in this week, so we'll cover those on the next month, so please watch out for that. So again, please don't forget to like the video, share if you want, and of course subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys on the next sound test. Peace.